If you're a woman who keeps attracting emotionally unavailable men, the ones who can't commit, the ones who blow hot and cold, who keep you at arm's length, who you're always trying to get to open up, you've probably been told to raise your standards or work on your self-worth, your self-concept. And maybe you have. Maybe you've done the work, but it just keeps happening. Let me ask you an uncomfortable question. What if emotionally unavailable men feel safe for you and emotionally available men feel terrifying? In this video, I'm going to show you why this pattern probably keeps repeating in your life, and it's actually more uncomfortable than you think. Let's look at this pattern. You are drawn to their potential and to that dynamic of the push and the pull, to the person who's almost there. If they would just open up a little, show you their heart, just do a little bit more healing work and let you in fully. You're attracted to the ones who are complicated, complex, who just need someone to understand them. And it feels so compelling, doesn't it? It feels like this deep connection is there, like it's fate, like finally someone who matches my depth, who I can devote my care and time to. But here's a really uncomfortable thing that you need to hear. If they're emotionally unavailable, you don't have to be emotionally available either. You're protecting yourself from the vulnerability of being truly seen by choosing people who won't actually look. Think about it. What does a relationship with an emotionally unavailable man actually look like? You're pouring into them all of your devotion. You're focused on their healing, their opening, their potential. You're trying to solve the puzzle of them. You're in control. You're the helper, the healer, the one who gives. And this is a huge trap that empathic women fall into all the time. Trust me, I know I've done it plenty of times. I'm speaking from experience here. But doing all of that, you never have to risk your heart fully. It's safer to love someone from a distance emotionally than to be met in full intimacy. Because if they can't fully see you, they also can't fully reject you. If you're always focused on getting them to open up, you never have to face the vulnerability of being completely open yourself. Emotionally unavailable men let you perform love without the risk of real intimacy. You're safe from rejection because you're never fully in it. And underneath all of this is the fear. If someone fully saw me, all of me, my mess, my needs, my shadows, my light, my vulnerability, will I be enough? Will they stay if they get to see it all? And it's easier to focus on why they can't open to you than to face your own fear of being truly known by someone and then potentially rejected. This isn't about blame. This is about understanding why you keep choosing this. Now, here's where it gets really interesting and increasingly uncomfortable, because I'm willing to bet you've had opportunities with emotionally available people. People who showed up for you, people who were consistent, who communicated, who actually wanted to know you. And how did that feel in your body? If you're honest, it probably felt boring, too much, suffocating, not enough spark was there, not enough chemistry. It turned you off. Yeah, pretty uncomfortable. And you probably couldn't figure out why. They're everything that I say I want on paper. But why don't I feel like this is the person for me? Because real availability means real vulnerability for you. And when someone is actually available to truly see you, to truly meet you, there's nowhere to hide. And that is terrifying. With emotionally unavailable people, you get to live in the fantasy, the what could be, the pedestaling of them, and the potential of them. You're safe in this fantasy because you're in control. You're focused on them. The spotlight is away from you. But with available people, you have to show up in reality as you actually are, with your needs, your mess, your ugliness, your vulnerability, your shadows, because they will put the spotlight on you. And you can't focus on fixing them because they're probably not broken, or at least they know how to tend to their wounds themselves. So you have to face yourself, and you can't manage the outcome anymore from here. They have their own wholeness. You're no longer the healer, the savior, the one devoted to their care. And in this moment, you're just you being met by another whole person. And you're not actually afraid of being abandoned by emotionally unavailable people, because in reality, you're afraid of being fully met by the ones who are actually available. Available people require you to be available too. They require you to open too. And that means risk. That means real vulnerability. That means being seen in your own mess and not just in your role as the giver. And yes, that does mean risking rejection as well. For many of us, that's far more terrifying than never being chosen by someone unavailable. So when you come into this awareness of this tendency that you may have, what can you do with this? And I'd like to offer something that I've come to know within myself, that real love requires choosing intimacy, and that uncomfortable intimacy, over the illusion of safety that the unavailability projection provides you. First, start recognizing when you're running towards unavailability. So notice the spark, the chemistry you feel when you meet someone new. And just ask yourself, is that attraction, or is that familiar patterning, a familiar sense of anxiety that I'm reading as excitement? Is it chemistry, or is it trauma recognizing trauma? Because here's the thing, your nervous system is wired to feel chemistry with what's familiar. And if unavailability is familiar, if this is something particularly that you may have experienced in childhood with a parental figure who was quite absent, it's going to feel like a spark when you should actually be running or putting out those flames. Chemistry can be trauma recognizing trauma. Compatibility is two whole people choosing each other. You are repeating the pattern if you are more interested in the person's potential than what the actual reality is. You're making excuses for inconsistent behavior. You feel like you need to earn their emotional availability, like they're a nut that you need to crack. You're focused on getting them to open up instead of asking if you yourself feel safe to open up with them. And availability, emotional availability in a man actually looks like consistent, clear communication. They follow through with what they say. They're emotionally present with you. They want to know you. They are not available to just be saved by you. And they can handle your emotions without shutting down. And they're also not a project for you to dive into. And I know that might feel a little bit boring to your system at first, because your nervous system is wired for the chaos, recognizing chaos, and for intermittent reinforcement. And to be honest, our cultural field is largely to blame. Hollywood is largely to blame. These sorts of movie setups where this all kind of starts, and it's like the bad boy or the one that's unavailable. I mean, the very classic Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice is based on Mr. Darcy being this aloof and mysterious nut that needs to be cracked by Lizzie Bennet. And we've all watched that and all been, so taken and beguiled by these stories. But that's not the reality. That's not what is actually going to build a solid foundation for a relationship. When you feel that pull towards someone that's unavailable, pause and ask yourself, what am I avoiding by choosing this? When you feel turned off by someone actually available, pause and ask, what intimacy am I afraid of showing here? You have to build your tolerance for being truly seen by others. So you may like to start small. You may like to begin sharing the real you in ways that have lower stakes. Notice that you're still worthy when you are fully visible and seen. Practice receiving someone's presence with you without performing for them. Because you are allowed to choose differently, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Discomfort doesn't always mean wrong. It often means we're repatterning out of default ways that we have been behaving. And it actually means growth. The right person, the right man for you won't feel like a project to fix or a prize to win. They will feel like home. They will feel like getting into a warm bath. And sometimes home feels unfamiliar to you and you feel like you always need to be in a cold plunge, but that's not the case. So yes, it might feel strange to you at first, but that's okay. So remember, a little sum up. You don't keep attracting emotionally unavailable men because you're broken or because you have low self-worth or because there's something wrong with you. You attract them because some parts of you feel safer loving from a distance than being fully met in intimacy. And that's okay. It's a protection mechanism. And I get it. I've had it as well. But if you want real love, you have to be willing to be truly seen for all that you are. The unavailable men will never hurt you the way that you fear because they'll never truly know you. The available ones, they'll see all of you, and that's what real love requires. And it's terrifying, but it's ultimately really worth it. So, dear sensitive woman, dear empathic woman, I would love to know, have you noticed this pattern running in your life and in your dating life in particular? What does available feel like in your body? What does unavailable feel like in your body? Let me know. Let's talk about it below. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Bye.